Red alarm lamps stuttered along the command deck while Marcus Webb watched the enormous display which showed hundreds of hostile vessels bearing down on their tiny mining outpost. His fingers trembled as he sent another distress signal through the comms, aware that no help would arrive in time. "Sir, they arrive in 2 hours," reported Elena Rodriguez, captain of their small defense detachment. Her tone stayed level, yet Marcus read the panic in her gaze. "Our armaments are obsolete and weak. We cannot repel such numbers." Marcus scanned the control room, studying the faces around him. They had come to Kepler 442b to extract rare ores from the planet's jagged crust. It had been meant as a quiet assignment, far removed from battlefronts or political strife. Now doom rode the black between stars. The Vorak horde was infamous across human space. They swept from world to world, stripping resources and slaughtering inhabitants. No settlement had yet withstood their onslaught. Their craft were swift and their batteries lethal. They showed no clemency to any living thing. "How many people remain on the surface?" Marcus asked. 3,000 in the main colony," Elena answered. "Another 500 at the mining rigs. We've begun moving settlers into the subterranean bunkers, but there isn't room for everyone." Nausea rose in Marcus's throat. These people had entrusted him with their safety. He was their manager and guardian. Now he could only look on as annihilation fell from orbit. Elena's radio spat static and voices from her squads. Crews were emplacing the defense emplacements around the settlement, though everyone understood the odds were grim. Their plasma batteries were 2 decades old, engineered to repel light corsairs, not an overwhelming invasion armada. "Sir, incoming transmission from the Vorak lead vessel," Tom Chen, the comms tech, announced. "Put it on the main pane," Marcus commanded. The display flickered to reveal the menacing visage of a Vorak commander. Its skin was ash gray, mapped with deep gouges and pocked scars. Jagged fangs crowded its maw, and its jaundiced eyes burned with malice. When it spoke, the sound was a low, beastly rumble. "Humans of this rock," the alien intoned. "I am Commander Gree of the Vorak Horde. Your world will belong to us in 2 hours. We will seize every asset and slaughter all who resist. Surrender now and your end will be swift." Marcus stepped out, his legs cottony. "This is Administrator Webb. We are an unarmed mining community. We hold no strategic worth. Take what you need and spare us." Commander Gree barked a harsh, mirthless laugh that made the room shrink back. "We want everything human. Your metals, your machines, your lives." "There is no bargaining. There is only death." The link cut off, leaving the command deck muffled by a terrible hush. Elena was first to break the silence. "Sir, we should escort you to the bunkers. You must live to coordinate any survivors." "No," Marcus replied with quiet resolve. "I will not cower while our people fight and perish. We stand together." Elena inclined her head with solemn approval. "Then we stand and fight with honor. I will ready our defenses." As she departed to marshal the troops, Marcus crossed to the panoramic viewport overlooking their settlement. The sun sank behind the crags, painting the heavens in streaks of blood and ember. It could be the final dusk any of them ever watched. The colony sprawled beneath him like a modest township. The dormitories where families raised children, the school where youths learned math and history, the clinic where Dr. Sarah Kim tended the ill. In mere hours, all could be razed. Marcus keyed the planet-wide broadcast. His voice rolled through each dwelling and refuge. "Friends, fellow colonists," he began. "You already know what approaches. The Vorak horde nears our world, and our weapons alone cannot stop them. But we are more than miners and technicians. We are human, and we will not yield without resistance." He paused, watching lights wink on across the settlement as twilight fell. "Some of you may survive by sheltering in the deep bunkers. If you do, remember us. Remember that we chose solidarity in our darkest hour. Remember that we faced the void with courage. Remember that to be human is to cling to hope when all appears lost." Throughout the colony, people heard their leaders' words. In the subterranean shelters, mothers pressed babies to their chests and stifled their sobs. In the gun emplacements, defenders ran final checks on their gear. At the clinic, physicians primed their triage stations, aware they might not be able to save many. Elena returned to the command deck with her update. "All batteries are in place, sir. We have 40 plasma cannons arrayed around the perimeter, with crews manning each position and reserves trained to cover breaches. Our scouts report Vorak screening craft at 20,000 kilometers and heavy formations closing fast. Ammunition and power levels are strained but holding for now. We will buy time, sir, but it will be costly. We stand ready at your command, prepared to defend every child, home, and machine to the end. The colony bristled with tension. Their few pilots were already strapped into their fighters, barely a dozen against an ocean of foes. Shield generators thrummed at full output, yet Marcus knew they would shatter quickly beneath Vorak weaponry. "How long can we last?" he asked. Elena's reply was grim. "If fortune favors us, perhaps 30 minutes once the barrage begins. The shields will break first, then they'll deploy troops. After that..." She trailed off. Marcus gave a silent nod. He understood too well. After that, it would be blades and blood in the alleys until the last colonist fell. The following hour dragged. Families whispered final farewells. Soldiers recorded last words for loved ones scattered across distant worlds. Children asked why the monsters hated them, and parents struggled to craft gentle lies. Then the alarms screamed. "Enemy fleet dropping from hyperspace," Tom reported. "Range 2 million kilometers, closing fast." On the main screen, Vorak warships flickered into existence like malignant stars. They swarmed so thick they eclipsed the true constellations behind them. Each vessel dwarfed anything the colonists possessed, their weapon ports glowing with gathered energy. "Time to weapons range?" Marcus demanded. 15 minutes, sir." He opened the comms one last time. "All civilians, seal shelter doors and await the all-clear. Defense teams, stand ready. May whatever gods you hold keep us." Outside, the Vorak fleet advanced, a storm of annihilation bearing down on their fragile world. Marcus watched Elena rally the defenders, men and women preparing for certain death. He watched Tom cast final desperate distress calls into the void, praying some distant ear might catch their last plea. As weapons range closed, Marcus shut his eyes and pictured his wife and daughter on Earth. He prayed they would never know the manner of his death, only the memory of his life. The first Vorak salvos screamed across the black rivers of lethal fire converging on the colony. The shields ignited in blinding light, holding for the moment. But all knew the end was only minutes away. That was when Tom's console shrieked with something unexpected. "Sir, massive hyperspace signature inbound," he gasped. "Coming in behind the Vorak fleet, it's huge." Marcus's eyes snapped open. On the sensors, a titanic silhouette tore free from jump space. Larger than any Vorak dreadnought, its black hull glimmered with silver streaks that caught the system's sun. "Identification?" Marcus asked. Tom double-checked, then stared. "None, sir. No registry, no known class. But the energy profile, it's human." Marcus's breath caught. The alien fleet loomed, but now another giant had arrived. A ship of impossible scale, 3 times the mass of the largest Vorak craft, drifted into battle formation. Then Tom spoke again, voice awestruck. "Sir, transmission incoming." "On screen," Marcus ordered. The display lit with the lined, scarred visage of a man unmistakably human. His hair was iron gray, his eyes burdened with decades of war. Behind him, an advanced bridge hummed with quiet discipline as crew moved like clockwork. "This is Captain James Thorne of the UES Retribution," the man declared, his voice firm with command. "Administrator Webb, withdraw your people to minimum safe distance. We'll deal with the Vorak." Marcus stared, stunned. "Captain Thorne, that's impossible. The UES Retribution was lost in the Great Void War. 20 years ago. The fleet declared your crew dead." A faint, wry smile tugged at Thorne's scarred face. "Reports of our death were greatly exaggerated. Administrator, move your people to safety. This system is about to turn into a battlefield." Before Marcus could form a reply, the Retribution surged forward with impossible speed for a vessel of its size. Its weapons bloomed to life, flooding Marcus's instruments with readings far beyond the scope of known human engineering. "Elena, recall our fighters," Marcus ordered. "Pull everyone behind the moon's orbit." "One ship against their entire fleet, sir?" Elena asked in disbelief. Marcus pointed to the displays. "Look at those readings." "That's no standard human warship." The Retribution positioned itself between the colony and the alien armada. a guardian shielding a child. Even Commander Grix was shaken. His fleet froze, regrouping into attack formation. "Unknown human vessel," his harsh voice rasped through open channels. "You cannot oppose the might of the Fourth E-Chord. Flee now or be obliterated." Captain Thorne's reply was even and icy. "Commander Grix, you have 30 seconds to withdraw your fleet." "This is your single warning." The Vorak commander's barked laughter rang out. "One ship threatens the Horde? Human arrogance never ends. All vessels, destroy them!" A storm of energy beams and missiles filled space, converging on the Retribution. Marcus braced for its destruction. Yet the massive vessel's shields absorbed the barrage like rain-striking stone. Then the counterattack came. Brilliant lances of energy speared outward, each shot erasing a Vorak warship in an instant. In less than 10 seconds, 20 alien ships were gone, vaporized in blinding flashes. "Impossible," Elena whispered, transfixed. "No human ship wields such firepower." The Vorak scrambled to encircle their opponent. But the Retribution moved with stunning grace, twisting and rolling through the void. Every broadside precise, every strike lethal. More of the enemy fleet burned with each passing second. "Concentrate on their engines," Grix commanded in desperation. But their combined salvos could not scratch the Retribution's shimmering shields. The human vessel pressed on, a predator among prey. Marcus could only stare as ship after ship vanished in searing brilliance. "Sir," Tom reported shakily, "I'm reading energy signatures inside that ship unlike anything in our archives. Whatever drives their weapons, it's beyond comprehension." 15 minutes later, silence reigned. 300 Vorak warships had descended on the colony. Fewer than a dozen remained, crippled and fleeing. Their proud armada was reduced to broken fragments. Commander Grix's face appeared one last time, no longer blazing with fury, but twisted by fear. "This is not over, humans. The Horde will not forget. We will return with greater numbers." Thorne's quiet reply cut through him. "Then I will be here, waiting." The Vorak broke and vanished into hyperspace, retreating as fast as their ruined drives could carry them. The control room remained stunned. In 20 minutes, their annihilation had been turned into deliverance. The galaxy's most dreaded marauders, undone by one human vessel. Marcus keyed the comm. "Captain Thorne, on behalf of Kepler 442b, we owe you our lives." "Thank you." The older man's scarred features softened faintly. "Just our duty, Administrator. Request permission to dock. My crew requires supplies, and I suspect we have much to discuss." "Of course, Captain. Bay 2 is clear." 2 hours later, Marcus sat across from a legend thought long dead. James Thorne, hero of the Great Void War, savior of Earth, declared lost on a secret mission 2 decades earlier, now alive in his office with his senior staff. "This is Dr. Lydia Cross, chief scientist," Thorne introduced, gesturing to a sharp-eyed woman with cropped red hair. "And Engineer Lucas Kane, who keeps our vessel alive." Cross leaned forward, voice edged with urgency. "Administrator Webb, we must know everything about the Vorak assault." "This was not random. They came seeking something specific." Marcus frowned. "But we're only miners. We extract metals, ship them to Earth. Nothing here has military value." Lucas Keynes couldn't identify. "Sir, with respect, there is something here the Vorak desperately wanted," the captain said. "Our intelligence indicates they have been tracking anomalous energy signatures in this system for months." A cold prickled down Marcus's spine. "What sort of signatures?" Dr. Cross withdrew a compact device and set it on the table. The gadget threw up a holographic, 3-dimensional model of Kepler 442b showing flickering points of light scattered across the surface. "These are the signatures we picked up from long range," she explained. "Beneath your mining sites, far below the shafts, are constructions that are clearly artificial." "They are not human. Alien ruins?" Marcus offered. "More than ruins," Dr. Cross corrected. "Whatever lies below remains active. It's producing energy patterns detectable across interstellar distances. The Vorak possess sensors tuned to those emissions." Captain Thorne rose and crossed to the observation port that framed the sleeping colony. The settlement's lights gleamed softly in the night, betraying no hint of the battle that had roared above just hours earlier. "Marcus, I need to tell you something classified at the highest levels," Thorne said without glancing back. The Great Void War wasn't humankind's first contact with alien artifacts. For decades, we've been uncovering relics and installations scattered across human space. The majority are dead, inert remnants of civilizations long vanished, extinct millions of years. He turned back to Marcus. But a fraction remain functional, poised, and dangerous. When people probe those live sites, calamities occur. Marcus's mouth went dry. What sort of calamities? The kind that require capital ships like the Retribution to intervene, Thorne replied in a grim tone. Administrator, your excavation may have stirred something better left sleeping. Dr. Cross adjusted the projector and zoomed the planetary model into the zone under the primary mining compound. The energy tracer spiked 3 days ago. That is when the Vorak altered course and made for your system. Are you suggesting whatever is beneath our colony summoned them? Marcus asked. In a sense, yes, Dr. Cross answered. The pressing question is how we respond. Captain Thorne sank back into his chair, his face hard. Administrator, I will need your full cooperation. My team must enter those tunnels and ascertain precisely what is entombed beneath your settlement. And you should accept a grave possibility. If the object proves too hazardous to remain, we may have no choice but to eliminate it, even if that means sacrificing the colony. Marcus stared at the 3 officers, struggling to absorb their words. His placid mining enterprise might have awoken an ancient alien device that lured the Vorak across light years to seize it. Now these strange humans and their impossible warship were telling him they might destroy everything he'd built. Captain, what exactly is the UES Retribution? Marcus asked. Your ship fielded systems and weapons far outside known human design. How? Thorne and his lieutenants exchanged a brief, loaded look. At last Thorne answered. Administrator, that's a very complicated matter. Marcus sat numbed as Thorne began to reveal the Retribution's true history. Beyond the window, the monstrous vessel hung in orbit above the colony like a black guardian. 20 years ago, near the end of the Great Void War, my ship embarked on a classified mission, Thorne said. We were tasked to investigate reports of an alien facility discovered in the Outer Rim. Command believed the site might contain technologies capable of tipping the war in our favor. Dr. Cross activated another hologram, mapping star charts and transit corridors. The installation lay on a lifeless world named Zirian Prime. When our teams arrived, we uncovered ruins that we discovered vast halls, soaring arches, angular machinery, and channels carved with symbols no analyst could decode. Teams entered inner vaults and found devices still humming with raw power. Some explorers never returned. Others came back hollowed, bearing burns and fragments of alien memory. We salvaged components and brought them aboard the Retribution for study. Those pieces rewired our understanding, materials that folded energy into strange geometries, engines operating without conventional fuel, and circuits that responded to thought rather than input. The science teams worked day and night, but every answer raised more questions, and danger lingered. We kept the work tightly classified. We're millions of years old, but still partly functional. What did you find there? Marcus asked, though he was not sure he wanted to know the answer. Engineer Kane spoke up, his expression dark. We found a armaments facility administrator. The beings who built it had been crafting technology that could annihilate whole stellar systems, but they had also created something else, energy cores that could run for millions of years without propellant. Captain Thorne continued the story. Our orders were to examine the devices and report back to command. But when we activated the alien systems to examine them, something went wrong. The installation started emitting signals throughout space, summoning something toward our location. What type of entity? Marcus asked. We never found out, Dr. Cross replied, because before we could discover what was coming, we received fresh directives from Earth. Command had decided the alien tech was too hazardous to examine. They ordered us to erase the site and return home immediately. Kane's face turned angry. But that was not the true command, was it, Captain? Thorne shook his head sadly. No, it was not. The true command was to obliterate the installation with us still inside. Within it, Command had determined that anyone exposed to the alien tech was too dangerous to remain alive. They sent another vessel to ensure we never returned home. Marcus felt sick. Your own military tried to kill you. They succeeded officially, Thorne replied. The UES Retribution was listed as destroyed with all hands lost, but we managed to escape, seizing some of the alien tech with us. We have been dwelling in the shadowed zones among civilizations ever since, attempting to comprehend what we found and monitoring signs of other ancient sites becoming active. Dr. Cross leaned forward. Administrator. The tech we retrieved from Zerion Prime propels our vessel now. Our weapons, our shields, our engines, they all run on alien energy cores that we scarcely understand, but you grasp them well enough to utilize them. Grasping and controlling are two different things, Kane said grimly. The alien systems have their own agenda. Sometimes they operate precisely as we expect. Other times they perform things we never programmed them to do. Marcus looked at the three officers attempting to process what they were telling him. So you are saying that your vessel is partly alien technology? More than partly, Thorne admitted. After 20 years of modifications and upgrades using alien components, the Retribution is as much alien as it is human, and so are we. Before Marcus could ask what that meant, Elena Rodriguez entered the office with an urgent expression on her face. "Sir, we have a problem," she announced. "Long-range sensors are detecting another fleet approaching the system." Captain Thorne stood up quickly. "Vorak reinforcements." "No, sir," Elena replied, looking confused. "The ships are broadcasting human identification codes. It appears to be a military task force from Earth." Dr. Cross and Engineer Kane exchanged worried glances. "How did they find us so quickly?" Cross asked. "The same way the Vorak found this place," Thorne replied grimly. "The alien artifact beneath your colony is emitting signals that can be tracked across interstellar space. Every military force in the galaxy with the right equipment will eventually detect it." Marcus felt a growing sense of dread. "Captain, if Earth's military finds you here, what will happen?" "Officially, we are dead," Thorne replied. "Unofficially, we are traitors who stole classified alien tech and disappeared. They will try to destroy us and recover the alien systems from our vessel." Elena stepped forward. "Sir, with respect, maybe that would not be such a bad thing. If these people stole alien tech from their own military, perhaps they should return it." Kane laughed bitterly. "Return it to the same people who tried to murder us to keep it secret. The same people who would rather see entire colonies destroyed than let anyone study alien tech." "The Earth military is not evil," Elena protested. "They protect human space from alien threats. Tell that to the colonies they have sterilized to prevent alien contamination," Dr. Cross said coldly. "Tell that to the research teams,"